happening, ladies and gentlemen? I Rich, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing all right. Apparently, I'm doing better than you, man. You all right?
Yeah, this just just kind of took me off guard today. Another blown Skeens opportunity of getting a win. Um, I don't even know what his pitch count was when they took him out in the fifth. I looked for it, I didn't find it. Maybe you know it. Maybe you paid a little more attention than I did. I was at work.
82.
Uh, that's it.
82. 52 strikes.
That's it.
5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 6 Ks in 5 innings.
Oh my. Okay.
Bednar's the one that wet the bed. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 walks. Bednar's the one that was the issue.
Um, it was 10-3 when they took him out.
Yes, it
I don't.
was.
I don't want to hear the whole bullpen was the issue.
Well, I mean, the rest of the bullpen, Nicholas went an inning and a third, gave up 2 runs. Chapman gave up 3 in 1 inning, and I think that was on a 3-run bomb. Santana went 2/3, gave up nothing. And Beeks went a third and gave up 1 run. But Bednar goes 2/3 and gives up 5.
By that time, it
That's
sounds like the gas was dead.
well, yeah, but I mean, you're still up 10-8. Or no, yeah, 10-8 at that point. Bednar comes in and gives up 5 on 3 hits. 5 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks. All 5 were earned.
I'm loving the
I'm sitting here looking at the scoring in the ninth. Swanson has an RBI fielder's choice. Bethencourt singles to left, drives in 2. Happ singles to center, drives 1 in. And then Topman had a single to center and scored Bethencourt, and that's all that Bednar gave up. And then Suzuki singled to center to score Topman. So
I'm not. I'm putting the blame on the whole bullpen. You have to.
you could, but your closer, I mean, if you go into the ninth inning up 10-8, you should win. Plain and simple.
You should, but you still can't pin this on one guy. You can't.
Oh, I'm not pinning it on just one guy. But what I'm saying is that was the death nail of the day. Him giving up 5 runs, because if you were up 7, you lose that lead, you're not coming back from it. I don't care what team it is, whether it's the Pirates or the Yankees or the Orioles or the Dodgers. It's not going to matter. If you're up that kind of a lead late in the 7th inning and you give it up and now you're down 3, you're not coming back. There's no way you're coming back in the bottom of the ninth.
No, they were dead. They were dead. Like once they realized they gave up the lead, the big lead, and by the time you said all that, you just were dead. It was 110 here today. It was probably roasting down on field level. I know that doesn't matter, but that just leads into everything else. Like, oh my gosh, this is such a fucking long day. Just get me the hell out of here. We lost. We're now 10.5 back from the last wild card spot, and it's not looking good at all.
No, it's not. And I'm kind of conceding of
The optimism.
this team the team I conceded the team wasn't making the playoffs before. Last week. By the way, 92, come on, man.
I sit down on the field, it's probably like 110, 112.
Yeah, but I mean 92. I'm used to air temperatures here 110.
Right.
On the field it's 130. 92. Come on.
It was hot, Rich. It was humidity here today. It was not pretty. God, I sound like
That is one thing. That is one thing I don't miss about
I sound
Pittsburgh.
like damn parents I saw all day. It's so hot. I can't have my kids playing sports today. I don't get it. We used to play in the same shit. I don't get it. The only difference is, Rich, here's what changed. Gadgets. Gadgets that tell you the temperature every freaking place you turn around. When we were growing up, we didn't know what the hell the temperature was. We just needed a freaking garden hose to get cool off.
Well, but there's also two other things that go with that. A, you couldn't, at least in my neighborhood, school let out at about, and then about 5:30, you couldn't find a kid in his house because he was either playing basketball, playing baseball, riding bikes, doing something until it got dark. You could write that whether it was 105 or 35. You were out doing stuff,
Right.
which makes a massive difference. And then there's this whole thing. I don't want my baby to get hurt. Come on, be a kid. You're gonna get hurt.
Right.
Kids are kids. They're gonna get banged up. They're gonna get a bruise. They're gonna cut themselves. They're gonna you know tear up their knee, falling off their bike and sliding down the street and all that kind of stuff. Everyone did it. We
Right.
all did it. But nowadays, the combination of what you were saying with the gadgets and that, and people being soft, and it's come on. I agree with you. This generation is
You know
soft,
what?
plain and simple.
One of my friends wrote today. Like, I get it. Okay, I get it. There's too many cameras, too many videos of like she said, she went to the game today and she had her I think she had her mitt and she was like, if I catch a foul ball, I'm keeping it. I don't care. And then she's like, when did so many people say you have to give a ball to a kid and make them earn the ball? Make them earn it. What happened to that?
Well, it kind of goes back to the autograph end of stuff and things like that. The adults, let's be perfectly honest. The adult can go to the sporting goods store and buy one, or whatever. The kid, it's a memory that kid is going to remember for the rest of his life. The gentlemanly thing to do, going with a female, the gentlemanly thing to do if you catch one and you're there with a female is to give it to the female that you're with, or give it to one of the kids, one or the other. But I don't have any issue if I catch one, and I've caught several in my life. For I've been very fortunate with that. If I
It's
catch one, I find a kid.
the closest
I've
ball I was to, Rich, was the closest ball I was to, like where I could have got it, but I was like 6, 7, was Mike
yeah.
Smith's 500 home run.
Oh wow.
I was a row away. It happened right in front of me on the far end.
I've never had one that momentous. Closest thing I could say I did was I caught one during one of Nolan Ryan's starts. Wasn't a no hitter or anything; it was just one of his starts. But I mean, I've probably my first one that I got, I was like 7, and my dad missed it, hit me in the shoulder, bounced up, and he ended up catching it. But like I say, I've probably caught 6 or 7 in my life. Um, and then I've had 2 come in the booth with me. One when I was doing PA in Illinois, the radio station I
Right,
was with,
that shit.
huh?
That ball ricochets off of something, hits you a little harder.
Well, it actually ricocheted off one of our promotions girls. She was standing there talking to somebody, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Hit a bullet straight back foul, and all I heard behind me was when it thudded off of her shoulder, and it bounced and landed on the table right next to me. So there was that one, and then I was doing a Baylor game at Minute Maid, and they had a it was they do a thing there called, think of what they call it now. Used to be called the Houston Classic, and they did a Astros exhibition game in between. It was right before they started the regular season, and one of the guys hit one and ended up in the press box. But yeah, I mean, if a kid, yeah, let the kid have it.
I don't know if I never got one live and I had a chance at one, I might pocket it.
Yeah,
There's still a pride in it.
there is. I also think that I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go searching out for a kid,
I'm talking
but if
about
there's
if it's,
one close, yeah, huh?
I'm talking about if it's hit you. Now, remind you, this girl, I believe she was with her kids today at the game too. She said, "I'm keeping it. I'm not giving it to them little bastards."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure she would have, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was just a conversation that came up, and I figured I'd ask.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely
This sounds like one more
different.
for open mic.
Yeah, I mean, different people have different opinions about that. I know my one of my youngest, all of a sudden, for the last like year and a half, she's become a monster baseball fan. And Nate Eovaldi has become her favorite player. She
Why?
loves
That's
Corey
why she's a
Seager,
baseball fan.
but Eovaldi is her guy.
That's why she's a fan,
What?
because Nathan Evaldi is there every day.
Well, but
Just
it,
saying. Yeah, I'm just saying if a guy you like and follow is gonna be there every day,
yeah.
you're gonna end up following the team. And who knows? Maybe she has more than you, Rich.
Well, and we're all Ranger fans around here, and she ended up. We got her. My wife and I got her. They did replica World Series rings for a bunch of the guys that they gave away at the stadium. They did one for Corey, and they did one for Simeon, Josh Young, Evaldi, and somebody else. And I got one of the Evaldi ones for her. My wife and I gave it to her for her birthday. Thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Um, stuff like that.
You
And
need to
I
get
mean,
her.
she's not a kid anymore. She's 23,
You need to get her
but
one. You need to get her one of those City Connects.
I don't know. My mom got her a Valdi T-shirt for her birthday.
She probably,
Um, huh?
she probably loved it.
Yeah, she loved it. Actually a really cool design. It has Nate the Great across it, and then he's kind of pitching through the middle of all the type. So it's a really cool shirt. Um, I don't think she's a big fan of the City Connect either. There's just there's some of the City Connects that I'm not a fan of. The Rangers, unfortunately, is one of them,
I
but
don't like
a
it.
lot of them I like.
I like the hieroglyphic language lettering and all that. I like that.
See, to me, it looks like they got like the Japanese symbol for soup on the jersey or something. It's there. I don't get it, and I've read the whole story behind the jersey and all that.
Love
I
the
love the City Connect.
I love the bottom of these. It says "We bleed black and gold."
There you go. I love the Pirates City Connects. I'm a big fan of the Cubs City Connect. I think that Wrigleyville deal and the navy blue looks really sharp. Um, I actually like Houston's with the Space City across it. Um, I can't stand San Diego's. San Diego's just looks very weird to me. Um, you know, there's some teams that still don't have City Connect uniforms. So, and they're not going to. The Yankees haven't done one. The Cardinals haven't done one.
What would the Yankees do? Statue of Liberty?
Some I don't know, but it would be something maybe Bronx related. Maybe the zoo, the Bronx Zoo.
I don't know. Like, what would you do? Like, seriously, like, it's in the Bronx.
I don't know.
I have no
Yeah,
idea
I
either.
mean, I don't know. I
Maybe
don't
that's
like the Red Sox ones either. That blue and yellow kind of thing from. I realize the combination is from back in the day.
no, it's from that bombing. That's the colors they did for the bombing.
Right. I just don't like those
That's a
jerseys.
horrible. That is an absolutely horrible connection with the city. Let's remember a bombing.
Well, okay. And I mean, I'm sure that's part of the issue with the New York teams trying to do something too, because one of the natural things that you would think is to put the skyline on there. Well,
We're
okay,
missing
let's not do that.
part of that skyline.
Well, you were. They've rebuilt World Trade Center, but the I couldn't. It doesn't make sense for New York to do it. St. Louis, St. Louis is just another one of those traditional. They've had the same uniforms with very little change for a million years, and they look cool. Nobody can tell me that birds on bat doesn't look cool.
I like their baby blue, the Ozzie Smith throwback.
The baby blues are cool, but I like the gray one with the bird on each end of the bat with cardinals across it. That to me is probably a top 5 uniform in baseball. Wyatt Langford goes deep, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I love the Cardinal grays with the birds on bat. Top 5 uniform in baseball. And actually, that one that Willie's wearing, if you look over my right shoulder, that black jersey with the gold numbers, and then the gold pants with the black piping, that right there,
I got a Clemente.
that right there is the uniform.
I got
Huh?
a Clemente jersey like that. But out. It might be behind me. I'm not sure. I know Giles is Deans is behind me. Honest Wagner's behind me. Chico Lean's behind me. Um,
Yeah.
my city. The kid one.
Yeah.
When they wore in Williamsport, I got that's behind me. Um,
The only Pirates logo, and it's not, and it's partially the uniforms, but the logo I didn't like was when they incorporated that red into the bandana on the Pirates' head. Remember that?
Jason Kendall years.
Yeah. Wasn't a fan. There's nothing red that should be part of the Pirates' uniforms.
Um, okay, let's not look at the 1933 jersey behind me.
I
Right
I
there.
understand.
Right
I
there.
understand.
Honest
I
Wagner. That
understand.
jerseys they wear. That was and of course they didn't have names on it, so I got 33 on the back because he was the manager.
Right.
And I
But
and I and I can't find the PBC shirts anywhere. I would love to have a PBC shirt.
mm,
Good luck.
uh,
No one would even like try and replicate it. But I mean, if I could
really,
find that, I would be so. I would be pumped. I know when
uh,
they did. I know when they did the throwback to the 1903 World Series. They
uh-huh.
wore them jerseys whenever the Red Sox were here that year. They shut down the scoreboard. They did it all manual. It was pretty cool. It was a good weekend. Unfortunately, the floods happened that weekend. My aunt died that weekend. Um,
Oh
it was
man,
a mess. And they told me that I should go to work because work needs me more than being at a funeral. I didn't understand that, but whatever.
wow.
Um, I was close to my aunt, but I wasn't really close.
That's wow. That's all I can say on that one's wow.
I still went and all that. I still went and all that, but I mean, I left early to go to work. They told me to get out of there early. So,
Wow.
well, unfortunately, it was during that series, and the place was sold out.
Yeah.
They understood at the same time, like I wanted to be at both places, and unfortunately, I couldn't be at both places. So,
Right.
but yeah, that was a cool series. I remember talking to Brian Giles after the game. I was like, dude, can I get your hat? That's all I want. That's all I want is your hat. That's it. and he's like, I would give it to you right now, but these are all going for auction. Every uniform, every piece of equipment used today is all going for auction. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like when they do the Mother's Day and Father's Day type stuff and things like that. All that stuff goes to auction to raise money for different things and different charities and that. So
I would have been
yeah, it
pumped.
kind of puts the
I would
players in a tough spot. Hmm?
I would have been pumped. Like that was a and I always made my way out to talk to Brian whenever I could. I was a huge fan. I mean,
Oh, Giles was fantastic. I
especially
always thought he was,
on the wall.
underrated.
I remember walking the warning track, and they're like, "We didn't change it yet," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And the spike marks were still in the padding, so that was cool. I had a good time working down there. That was fun. A lot of walking though, man. A lot of walking.
I
But
can imagine.
I'm not gonna lie, bum. Heinz Field was 10 times because they put me on the upper deck, and you know how hard it is to keep a crew working during a Steeler game.
Oh, I'm sure that
So,
has its challenges.
so I go, guys. I don't care. Watch the play and move. Watch the play and move. I don't care.
Move.
Just watch the play and move, so we don't get in trouble. I didn't care. And if we get a call for throw up, which we will, I want to know where ends are because I'm not going to clean up that by myself. And we had this really good smell good stuff that cleaned it up, and it soaked it up really quick for the situations, I guess. And
Mhm.
oh man, that stuff smelled good. That stuff smelled good. Like if you threw up and you smelled that, you'd be like, oh, oh, so good.
We have now hit the opposite side of the gambit here. I always
Uh,
say on my posts, you never know where we're going to end up. Hell,
yeah, Heinz Field was a different place to work.
I can imagine just simply because of the fan environment and you kind of get wrapped up into it, kind of a thing.
But it was
That
fun. It was fun. My buddy was a vendor and I was a cleaner. Uh,
Look, I've got a buddy of mine I went to high school with that he still to this day works security for the Rangers. He's worked himself up from he started as a parking lot attendant in high school, and now he's the security down the first base line on the field. He's the security there. Um,
did they
so
give
I
him a
mean,
ring there so long? Did he get a ring by chance?
no,
I'm just
no.
saying, like, I don't know if it was football or baseball. One of the teams did. If you've been with the organization for no matter what in the organization doing something, we got you a ring. I can't remember who it was, but I remember hearing that.
The Mavericks did that in 11 when they won their championship. Mark Cuban got rings for everybody that was collecting a paycheck from the Mavericks. Front office people, security people, Reunion Arena, or well, I'm sorry, American Airlines Center staff that worked the games, the PA announcer, the radio and TV teams,
They're
the
part of
cameramen, the producers, all that
oh,
stuff.
you're right.
Huh?
The announcers are part of the team. They should have gotten the ring anyway.
Who's that?
The announcers, because they're part of the team. They should have.
And there's been a couple over the years that haven't gotten them.
Really, I thought they were like part of the team. They would get them.
Well, sometimes they're part of the team, sometimes they're from the network. Even though they follow the team all season long, the owner decides that they don't get one because they're for whatever reason. And then there's been some teams, excuse me, that they did the players, the coaches, the staff, that kind of thing. and that's it. They didn't even take care of the equipment guys or any of that kind of stuff. It was team, coaching staff, and front office. That's it.
That sounds awful.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. The
Uh,
Rangers hooked a lot of people up. I read Chuck Morgan, who's the PA guy, but he's also their head of media and community relations. And I think I read they did in total like 1,500 rings.
that's good. I remember we were at the bar. It was a Sunday night because we always went out on a Sunday night. That was like our thing. Everyone was off that day, and no one really gave a shit the next morning because it was Monday. But Sunday was our thing. That was me and my boys and our crew, whatever you want to call it, food. We were hanging out at a bar, and this guy came in and he said, I got a surprise for you guys." We're like, "What's he got?" He he rips out the oh or the 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 fifth Super Bowl ring before it was given to the team,
Uh-huh.
and we're all sitting there going, "Okay, this is pretty fucking cool." He wouldn't let us. He wouldn't. He didn't take it out of the box. He just showed us, and then he put that shit away, and that was it. We're all like, "Oh my god, that's awesome."
Yeah. Yeah, they did. See, this is why I just double checked what I was telling you guys. They did. They gave 100. There were 130 real ones given away, and then uh, almost 1,500 replicas were given to staff and things of that nature. So real diamonds compared to CZs.
Still be cool to get one.
Oh yeah, yeah. And from what I gather, they had the name engraved inside of it and that kind of thing. I've seen Jared Sandler's,
I wish he
and
was on our show.
yes, he was.
Be cool to talk to him
Yep.
for once. I know. Unfortunately, I had all kind of crap going on that day, and I missed out on a good conversation. Apparently,
Yeah, Jared's a good dude. He's really, and anyone that heard the interview, yeah, he's been with the Rangers for a long time and he does all that stuff with them. But he's really big in the community at the same time. Really involved with kids, especially kids with disabilities. Your boy just hit a double, by the way. But
wow.
yeah, Jared's a super good guy. If you happen to be when you happen to be listening, because I know you're doing a broadcast right now, but appreciate you, Jared, for doing that. Yeah, there's your Seager. He just lined one off the base of the wall at Comerica. So Rangers are trying to sweep a doubleheader off the White Sox.
Chris, maybe I'll get your daughter. Maybe I'll get your daughter a Ebaldi World Series jersey.
I almost had one of those. I almost had one of those for her. Only problem was the guy changed what he wanted for it at the last minute, and it went from being $250 to $850.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's a replica apparently then, but it's pretty damn close. This one's pretty close actually. This one's got the double stitching around the neck. That's usually a sign that they're pretty damn close.
No, I mean it could very easily be legit because it has the World Series patch on it. It could be an authentic. But he was wanting 850 for it, and I was like, yeah, no. I can get him
His
through the
name's Nate.
Rangers cheaper than that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can get him through the Rangers for 300 or 400 bucks. So
Obviously, I have some jerseys around me.
a few. Yeah. A
Oh,
few.
I don't look good with the screen behind me, Rich. That's why I don't do it.
Hey, now you know why I've been in radio for 20 years. I got a face for radio. What can I tell you?
Right? I do like my mugs though. Do you have any of these at your house?
I got one better for you, and I would have to go into. I don't have those, but I would have to go into my office to get them. My
Because they
wife got me for
get
my
shot glass.
birthday. Very cool.
These
Those
are
are
dugout,
very cool.
by the way, guys. Very I recommend them. I've asked them to sponsor our show. They won't do it, the bastards. But who knows? Maybe once they see that I have a collection behind me, maybe I should share it with them.
Maybe so.
Share them in a
But I tell
tweet.
you what, it was either my birthday or our anniversary or something like that. She brings me this crate about yo big, and it has four Pilsner glasses with the Pirates logo on it, and the coasters not only have a bottle opener on the bottom of the coaster, but the one is engraved with an 8, the other is engraved with a 21, a 33, and a 9 for Mazeroski, Wagner, Clementi, and Stargell. And I had that sitting on a shelf in my office, for years. Never drank out of it one time.
Really?
Never one time.
I also collected the. Did you ever see the football mugs? Has the laces on the cup.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I had 15 to 16 of the teams, and I was at work one day. Someone robbed me. Someone took them all, and the only one they left. So it's someone I know. The bastard was someone I know because they left me the Hall of Fame Steeler one.
Wow.
So pissed. I was like, "Where are my mugs? What is going on?"
Well, we
So
ended up when we went
Seattle.
to see the
I went to Seattle. I had Houston. I collected them when I went places.
when we were in Pittsburgh for the Saints game in 2011, I think it was. Is that right? No, not 2011. 14. 2014. And we went into the card shop there at Century 3. I can't think of the name of the place.
Well, Century
But
Three is pretty much the back end is demolished now.
this was what 10, 11 years ago.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's now like it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It
Well,
looked pretty cool inside that place. Though, just wide open.
Well, we went in there and they had some of and I don't even know if you're old enough to remember these, the Hardy's glasses that were the different Steelers players from the 70s. And they had their picture on the front and they had a little description on the back.
I think I have some downstairs, Rich.
I got Rocky Blyer and Dwight White for $4 a piece.
Rocky Bly's your dude.
Rocky's my dude, man. Yeah, it's really weird. A lot of people and I get it. Bradshaw, Franco, Swan, Lambert, maybe Joe Green, of course. I just got a special tie with Rocky, and it's pretty cool. It is really pretty cool. One of these days, I'll have to whenever we're doing some Steeler talk, I'll have to drag out the framed Steeler jersey, the Rocky Blyer jersey. Put that behind me.
Yeah, if we do Steelers, don't worry. All these jerseys we put away. I have enough Steeler crap to. I have jerseys still with tags on
They have a Deuce Staley Steelers jersey.
them. I have a. I have a. So I got into this thing of like ordering jerseys from China, and I didn't like it after a while because they started sending me all the wrong shit. Um, I had I had a New England Randy Moss jersey, double XL. Things like a 56. I'm like swimming in it, right? Like this thing's almost as big as. And a girl I worked with at the airport was like a huge New England fan. I was like, "Here you go, Merry Christmas." She's like, "When the fuck am I gonna wear this?" She was just like as tall as me, so it was like as big as her. She's like, "I'll just wear it to bed," and I'm like, "I figured you would." I have a Chad Ocho
Well,
Cinco downstairs too, but it says Johnson, just to let you know.
hey, if any of you folks got jerseys you want to show off or tell us about, hey, hit us up, Twitter, Facebook, any of this other. Uh, we'd like to check them out too. But I'll tell you, I had and my dad got it for me. And this is how you really knew it was legit. I was like 14, and my dad had been working. He was the head maintenance guy at Six Flags Mall in Arlington, which is where all the Rangers and the Cowboys and guys like that went uh, to do their shopping in that. Because if they went someplace in Dallas or Irving, forget it. It was over. They were getting stampeded. So the one Christmas, I opened up the box and it's a green jersey. What the heck? Mike Pitts. Remember Mike Pitts that played defensive line for the Eagles?
Yeah.
A game worn jersey from the previous week's game against the Cowboys. And it even had, and any of you guys out there that has played football knows this, it even had the wrap under and button up jock in the shirt so the shirt didn't pop out. That's how you knew it was legit at that point. But that thing fit me like a glove. It was great. But yeah, that's the only non Steeler or Ranger or Pirate jersey that I've had, except for a Montana jersey that I had when I was a kid.
Well, like I said, we were talking about last night, and Felix Jones, one of my favorite Arkansas running backs. For some reason, I just fell in love with the guy. Loved his running, and then he goes to fucking Dallas. I'm like, oh man. So I was like, well, I've always wanted to own the Thanksgiving Day jersey, and this is my chance.
I do lie. I had a Robert Griffin III Baylor and Redskins jersey.
So I
Robert's
don't
my
know.
guy.
I don't know
So
if you hate Cronin in a red Cowboys jersey or not, but he was my favorite player, so of course I have one.
it wouldn't matter. If Rocky would have gone to the Cowboys, I'd have just cried. If some of these guys that I really like right now, it's like the Cowboys. And I think it was Evan last night said something, or one of the guys said something about the conceivability of Dak going to the Steelers at some point. Okay, I wouldn't have an issue with that. A lot of people would, especially people around here. Like, oh, you're just getting a losing quarterback, and no,
Um,
Dak is in a bad situation.
um, but we don't really have. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this call today. I know a lot of people are excited, but I am not. I'm not a Russell Wilson fan. I've come to terms with myself.
By the time they play the Cowboys week 4, I think
Justin
it's week
Fields.
4, week 4, week 5. By the time they play the Cowboys, Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback.
Are you going?
No,
I
I'd
can't
love
remember.
to, but I can't.
It's in
I'm just
Arlington.
not getting around well enough to do that.
They're in
Huh?
Arlington.
I know.
I think so, right?
Yeah, I believe so. No, no, no. It's at home. It's in
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
is that the Tom Brady game coming here?
Say again.
Is that the Tom Brady game coming to Pittsburgh? I mean, announcing.
No, it's Sunday Night Football.
Oh God. Now we gotta listen to Collinsworth suck. I am not. I
Okay,
can't. I can't take him. I
okay.
can't
Let's
take him.
throw this one out there, and everybody that's listening, please shoot us your input on this one.
I got 42 right now
Who,
that I know of.
who do you hate listening to more, Chris Collinsworth, Joe Buck?
I like Joe Buck for baseball.
I don't like him for either.
I can't stand Collinsworth.
I, And I'm getting kind of peeved at Aikman. It's like, when Aikman was at Fox
They're
and doing what he
Cowboys.
was doing,
Can't stand them. But we talked about this last night on open mic. We talked about this. Why are those guys still successful and still have a name? Because they win. They won.
ooh, well, yeah,
Aikman.
sure.
They won. They win.
Okay.
Who don't you hear on these announcers? Guys that got paid and didn't win. They end up on ESPN, maybe a half-hour show. That's it.
I don't know. I mean, how long was the playmaker on either NFL Network or something like that? He's got as many rings as Troy Boy does.
Still an hour show, Rich. I'm talking announcing. Like
Right. I mean, there's only so many spots for announcers.
right, but they
And
want
color,
that. They I
huh?
don't. I Tony Romo's just good. He's just a good announcer.
Right.
Granted, he can do anything, but he's a good announcer.
Yeah. And see, that's where part of the problem comes in. Do you want the name or do you want the quality? It goes to coaching. I mean, look at the coaches across the board, especially MLB, NFL, and NBA. How many legendary players do you see as managers or head coaches? I'll wait. Especially successful ones. They don't. They're players that were catchers, utility players, that kind of stuff. Your Bruce Bochy's, your Tony Lasorda's,
They're the
yeah,
people that
Tommy
saw
Lasorda, Tony La Russa, um,
they're
guys
the people
like that.
that saw most of the game. They're the people that saw most of the game and know how to run it. That's who the people
Right.
want.
And
I
that's the
mean,
same thing with these play-by-play guys and these commentators. The best players are not the best at conveying the information in that color spot. I think
like
Moose Johnston is fantastic and
I
a
think
thousand times better than Aikman. Huh?
Kevin Young's pretty good. After you give him a shot, he's not bad.
Young's not bad. Young's not bad. But when you
Greg
said, I mean, I think Greg Olson as a color guy on the NFL last year was great. I love Greg Olson. They're bringing Brady in to take Olson's spot, and Brady just automatically makes me want to go click.
they should let Brady and Olsen do it.
Who's going to do play by play?
Let them figure it out.
That's the thing. You can't do that with a football broadcast. It's impossible to have that kind of a setup. You got to have a play-by-play guy, which is where you get Kevin Harland or Kevin Burkhardt or what is Eagles' last name? It's Ian Eagles' kid from New York. I can't think of Eagles' last name, but Al Michaels, guys like that. The player or the coach is the color guy because he can talk the language. He can do that stuff, but he's not going to be able to tell you with the right inflection and all that kind of stuff. There's a very, very thick wall in between the two. It's not like baseball. Baseball, most of the time, a color guy can do play by play. May not do it as good, but he can do play by play, and vice versa. Football, it's not that way. Mark Schlereth, I think, is fantastic doing color.
Um, I whenever that Joe Buck, that Joe Buck's son that got inducted into the Hall of Fame, same as Palomalu. I think so.
That was Jack Buck's son, Joe. Yeah.
Joe got inducted into the Hall of Fame too.
Uh huh.
He came running by us, ready to miss his limo to go wherever they were going after the show. After the thing, he comes running by. He's like, "Move, move, move, move!" And everyone recognized the voice, and everyone just moved. I was laughing,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I've
It is.
just I've just never been a fan of his. I just there are those guys, Collinsworth, you know, there are those guys that just are like fingers on a chalkboard. Monday Night Football, to me, the best thing Monday Night Football ever did is the Manning cast. That is some amusing, entertaining stuff.
The brothers.
And they get great interviews. I mean, some of the people that they get to pop on there, you just kind of go, wow, really? How'd they do that?
Oh, Peyton Manning. I mean,
It's
it's not, I don't know. Like when you're that big, it's not that hard to like get people to come on easier.
no.
Like you're pretty out there, Rich. A lot of people know you, and it'd be like me trying to like get people to come on, and either I hit or miss. Obviously, obviously, I haven't gotten anyone big in a while, but I have. I've had some really great guests on my shows. I have. I just haven't had any come back in a while. So, but maybe once baseball winds down, maybe we'll reach out to them and we'll get a big show going.
Sure.
If people have busy lives, they don't have time. I'm just a I'm just a guy that podcast. That's all I am.
Well, I mean, I'm just a guy that's done radio for 20 years. I mean, I'm not anything
Right,
overly
like I
special.
said, but you have a name in the door. I don't.
Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't. I don't have a big name. In Central Texas, sure. Okay, people know who I am to a degree. But I mean, for the most part, I've really got to do just like anybody else does as far as, putting in the getting on the pavement and doing stuff. Getting to interview guys like NASCAR drivers, it took me 4 or 5 years at the relationships that I had with NASCAR drivers when I was doing Texas Motor Speedway all the time to get to the point where I could go to a Kenny Wallace or a Kenny Schrader or a a Michael McDowell or guys like that and be able to get a quick, hey, can I get a couple of minutes? Sure, no problem, and do that. Was I able to get a Jeff Gordon every now and then? Sure. I got Jeff. I got a few other of the bigger names, but
It's not every time.
you got to no, and you got to get out there and establish that relationship. WWE type stuff. I mean, I've had the guy that should never be named. I've had Triple H. I've had Cena. I've had Big Show. I've had guys like that. But I've also had the Street Profits, and I've had. I'm trying to go back in my memory now. I've had Hacksaw Jim Duggan on the shows and things like that. It's not necessarily all those big names and all that, but it's the relationships that you build over the course of time that are pretty cool. To this day, Michael McDowell and I have, we text back and forth every now and then. Just simply, I'll text him, "Hey, great run." Glad he had that huge wreck 2 weeks ago. Last week, I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago at Daytona. Last week at Daytona, and send him a message. "Hey, Mike, I'm glad you're okay. Da, da, da. I don't know if you saw the wreck or not. If you haven't seen the wreck yet, watch the replay. Scary, scary stuff. But it also tells you about the safety of those vehicles. Um, and it was real quick type stuff. Trust me, you're getting there, and you're going to get the every time that you ask and get a no, or get a well, we can do it another time. You just got to keep building on those. And as you build on those, the yeses start coming. And then the yeses start pushing the no's down into the ground. And you're getting a lot more yeses than no's.
Oh, I know. It's just like a sale, and not everyone's gonna buy it. And
Yeah,
you could get 100 no's, but that one yes is all you need. I
exactly. And
know.
when you get
I've
it,
I've gone through it. I know. I haven't. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been fully assertive as I should be, but I mean, I just have so much going on, running the network, making sure everyone's doing their shit, doing their stuff.
Sure.
I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'll just send a little tweet out and see what happens. You know,
I'll give you a perfect example, and this is where your knowledge comes into play. The first time when WWE came and did Raw in Waco right after Katrina, because they were supposed to be in Biloxi, Mississippi. We all know what happened to Biloxi during Katrina. It was all underwater.
anyway,
I get a phone call from the guy that I was handling all their advertising for a few years. He said, "Rich, we're moving Raw to Waco. I need your help." Okay. He said, "You tell me what you need, and you've got it. And I need you to help me find some things." I had to find him a gym and all that kind of stuff, right? Hotel, that kind of thing. Okay, no sweat. So I helped them out with their stuff. I say, "You name the interview, you got it." Okay. I mean, list starts here, right? So I get the guy that will no longer be named. I get John Cena in studio. I get Triple H by phone. I get everybody short of The Rock. Okay, I get everybody short of Hogan. I mean, those guys, those that type of thing didn't do anything with this. But we get
Hogan was
in
still
there,
big in
and whether it
2005.
was my show, huh?
Hogan was still big in 2005, but you got Cena and Triple H at like the beginning of the
We
beginning. Like
we got
Cena might
Cena in studio.
he was still a
Yeah,
rapper, right? In
Cena's in
2005.
studio. It was the very beginning of the spinner belt. Remember the spinner belt?
Yeah,
And I tell this story. It's one of the best stories of my whole radio career. I had fed some questions because he was going to be on our one of our music stations instead of our sports station after doing the sports station. So I'm feeding questions to the two hosts because they don't know an elbow from apple butter. Okay, give them the questions, and the counter is perfect height for Cena's waist. Okay, and he's got the belt laid across there. Well, I had a male and a female host on the show. Cena's on the side with the female host, and they're having a great conversation. I mean, it's going great. They went a little off the rails with like personal type stuff and things like that. Favorite songs, favorite bands, all that kind of stuff, and they're having a grand time. So they get ready to wrap things up. Beth says, "One more thing, I just got to ask," and he says, "Sure. What do you got?" Says, "Can I play with your belt?" And I swear, I thought that Dustin, the male half of this team, I thought he was going to die on the other side of the bar. He's laughing that hard because, again, the belt is right at belt level of Cena. So when you're watching all this stuff happen, you see, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." Had a blast. We get a phone call the following day after the show was over, all that kind of stuff.
of course.
Guys, everything was great. You guys need anything when we're in town, you let us know. And that's held through 4 or 5 different regimes of media people with them.
Good.
So it's not just a matter of getting the interview, but it's the matter of having the knowledge on the topic. If I got, if I got an interview with Jenny Finch, Hall of Fame softball pitcher, right? Olympian, all that kind of stuff, I
Be
could
like
get by, huh?
Lisa Fernandez.
Yeah, I could get by, but I probably wouldn't be as strong as other people. When some of these people that you're getting, that you're talking to from Pirates organization and the Penguins organization, the Steelers and all that, you've got that knowledge, man, that they know you're not just some schmuck saying, "Hey, I want somebody from the Steelers to come on my podcast." And that's what's super cool about what you're doing. I think that's fantastic.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from our Baltimore guy. Now
Matt,
he is money. He is. I don't know. He has that reputation. He's got that core build. He's you know just talking to some of them guys that he has. I think I'm not going to ruin it, but the Thursday I know he's got a couple. I know he's got a player, I believe, coming on. He was talking about it. I don't know. We'll see. Not a now player, but a former player, of course. And it's a return guy. I mean, me and Mr. Wilcox, we have our fun because he's a big Tomlin fan and he knows I'm not. um, yeah, I remember he came on the show. Matt's like, I need a picture of Daniel Wilcox. So I show so before, yeah, I saw him sitting backstage and I was changing the picture and I have him scoring at Heinz Field. And I didn't know what Matt wanted. Matt was like, find me a picture for the background. I was like, okay. So I found a picture of him scoring at Heinz Field. And whenever I put that up there, he was looking like, what the hell? I was like, I had to. I'm a Steelers fan. I had to show you scoring on him. But I
Yeah.
mean, Ray Rice was a good dude. I mean, we talked to Ray Rice for 2 hours after that we went off the air.
Wow.
Um, Bernard Pollard, awesome dude, awesome dude. Um, I mean, Matt talked to Tim Kirchin twice. That that's that, that
I've heard he's really good to talk to.
I got to talk to Tim after the first show Matt did. Talked to him for about 5 minutes, but I got to talk to him. That's all I cared about. I threw a question at him real quick. I was like, Tim, I got to know. On my show, I was doing all time lineups at the time, and I said, "What is your all time lineup?" And go. And he spotted off just like that, no hesitation, nothing. And I was like, "Damn, on the ball, on the fly." Didn't know that question was coming. Um,
Yeah.
just awesome.
I was that way with Milo Hamilton. Long time Astros announcer, long time Pirates guy.
Right?
He teamed with Bob Prince.
He worked with Lanny Fratteri in the '70s and the early '80s. And just to let everyone know, Lanny Frateri's been on the show a couple times. Um,
Yep.
unfortunately, him and Grilly got into a fight, and neither one of them have come back since. But it happens. It happens.
Yeah,
I
but he also worked with Bob Prince. And
did.
when you look at what he was with the Astros when I got a chance to talk to him, same tournament in fact that Baylor was at, and they were doing Astros fan weekend and that kind of stuff down there. He was doing a Q&A. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, I get a chance to listen to him do this stuff with the people and all that. And he come over and we're talking for a second, and he saw my credentials, of course. Well, about 3 days later, and I completely forgotten about this. The Chamber of Commerce here does a kickoff luncheon every year for football season, a first pitch luncheon for baseball, that kind of deal. Who's the speaker at the first pitch luncheon? Milo Hamilton.
Nice.
So we get done with the whole deal and all that. And I went up and I was going to talk to him and all that. And I started to reintroduce myself. And he said, "Hey, Rich, how you doing?"
They know. They remember. They remember people, right?
Yeah, I said, "Would it be possible to get a couple of questions and we could record real quick?" He said, "Yeah, sure. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right there." A lot of times that's an automatic blow off, right? I waited for a couple of minutes. A few minutes later, he come walking over and said, "Okay, what do you got?"
You're like, oh shit.
Oh, well, no, 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 no. I was ready, but I was like, okay, and he did like 5 minutes with me. I come walking back and I put the recording in front of the program director. I said, "Here you go." He said, "What's that?" I said, "I got Milo after the luncheon." He's like, "No." I said, "Yeah." And we played it on the air. I mean, it's a lot of the times too. It's timing. A lot of stuff is timing. You know, um, but it's a lot of people that don't know that don't do like you and I do and things like that. They think it's super easy to get people to pop onto these podcasts and these shows and all that kind of stuff.
You got to live through 100 no's and not let it bother you.
Yep.
You have to, even though but you're and then once you get that one yes, you're gonna hit a run of like 6, 7, 8 in a row possibly, and then you're gonna
Yep.
go back to shit. When am I getting a yes again?
Yep. It's a numbers game.
Right. I
100% a numbers game, and you got to be ready to take advantage when it strikes.
I mean
That's
I
the
did
other
it
part.
I did it jokingly tonight. I mean I was like I was on Libby Dunn's page and and it just says unbelievable, and it had the Paul Skeens meme on it, and I was like, hey, if you want to vent, we're going live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I gotta take my shots, right? I mean, I'm probably not
You
gonna
got to take your shot.
I'm not gonna get a response, but I threw it out there,
What's the line? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
right? I keep looking to see if she responds, but I haven't seen anything yet. In case she says yes, I got to be like boom, boom, ready to go.
Well, heck yeah. I mean, you have those home run hitters that you sit there and you're like, yeah, okay, let's go, let's do this, and they don't want
So
to play around, and they just want to get the thing
back
going,
on shot of,
get in, get out, say what they're going to say.
it'd be cool if like Paul sat down and gave us like a couple minutes too.
Now there you go.
I wasn't hoping for that. I'll take either one because I think Livy would have loved to vent after that crap today.
I'm
This was
sure.
kind of like the dagger, and this was like that Atlanta game that went 19 innings and we lost on a shitty fucking call.
Well,
This is the way it
yeah.
felt. It just felt like the season's just done. You got Rich. We didn't even talk about this yet. So you put your star shortstop in center field without telling him. He's not happy about this move in center field. He's not happy at all, and he's made
Well,
that known. He's made that
I,
known. He
yeah.
doesn't want to be there. Is this gonna be the sign that says no Cruz? It wants to go now.
I
I'm just
don't know
saying.
that it's a case that
Be in center field.
I don't know that it's a case he doesn't want to go there. I think he made
No,
the perfect statement.
he said it. He told
Well, but
me
he said he would have rather have he said he would rather have known about this in the off season.
well, at first, like if you read the comment before that, it literally says, "I don't want to play center field."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like he has 24 errors at shortstop. I think he's leading the National League.
Well, but okay. Um
I think that's
I
what I
don't
saw
think that's an extreme number though,
this late in the season. I didn't think it
because
was bad. I mean, obviously you want like 10 or under, but on the Pirates, 24 is not bad.
but okay, if you look at errors, he's not even the leader in the National League.
Oh, he's not. Okay, did that change today?
No. Ellie De La Cruz is the leader.
What?
26.
Okay, so he's two behind.
Okay. Gunner's got 19, Adamas 17, Pena 16, Abrams 16, Torres 15. But when you look, I mean, and it's on a smaller sample size as far as opportunities go. I mean, his fielding percentage is 939, but some of the errors that he gets hit with, some of those errors are him trying to do too much. You remember the play, and you and I talked about it. It was a couple weeks ago that he ended up going almost all the way out into left field on a pop fly
Yeah, he
and
dropped.
cut Reynolds off and dropped it. He was running for it backwards, trying to make a football catch when Reynolds is standing right there, trying to
Right.
do too much. I've seen him do that 3 or 4 times this year. So, yeah, does he have 26 errors? Yes, but I would love to see a composite of those 26 errors and see how many of those is him trying to make a play that ended up resulting in an error.
I'm not doubting that. I was just going off what I read. Now that you say the fly
Yeah,
ball, that was definitely an error. Um,
you dive for a ball, you make the throw to first, the first baseman doesn't dig it out. Who gets the error?
Shortstop.
Right. Even though the first baseman has one job. AJ Whiteside, if you're listening, the first baseman has one job. He and I
Catch
go
the
back
ball.
and forth about Nathaniel Lowe all the time. I have
Really?
seen Nathaniel Lowe dig 2 balls out in his life. He has missed more balls in the dirt than any first baseman I have ever seen. And we go back and forth on he's not that bad. First baseman has one job. One. It's the same job the catcher has. Catch the ball. And I can't stand when first basemen don't get hit for those errors. If just because the ball's in the dirt doesn't mean it's not the first baseman's job or responsibility to make the play.
Right.
It's just like a catcher at the plate. If there's a throw at the plate, ball's in the dirt, and the catcher botches it.
We talked about this off air last night, didn't we? With Henry Davis.
Yeah, we might have. Yeah, we did actually on that play. But if there's a throw from the outfield, who's the error go to? The outfield or the shortstop or whoever. The errors go to the wrong guy. So, I mean, first baseman should have more errors than they do. Shortstop, second base, third base should have fewer errors than they really do.
I was a first baseman for a while. I know, but I
When I
wasn't
stopped
tall enough.
catching,
In the end, I wasn't tall enough to be a first baseman.
well, when I stopped catching, I moved to first base. And having a 7-footer at first base, they didn't really hate that very much. One year I wore 747 for my number because of the wingspan. But it's one of those deals that you have the job to catch the ball. It's the only you're not concerned about fielding grounders that much and that kind of stuff. Catch the throw. So I would like to see, and I'm sure there's a way to find it, but I'd love to see a composite of all the errors that O'Neal Cruz has supposedly made. And I'll bet you half of them is because he's trying to do too much.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm not. I'm just going off of numbers that I read.
Right. No. And I understand. Does he make some bonehead plays? Yes. Absolutely.
He doesn't
But
want
you can't fault the
to.
guy.
He doesn't want to play center field. He's going to want out.
I don't know.
And if you're telling me
I
there's
think they handled it bad.
if
Huh?
you're telling me there's a team out there that would take a flyer on a shortstop with a rocket bat, I I would say
Well,
you're wrong.
yeah, but they're going to have to give up a lot. I mean, you're going to have to give up a ton to get O'Neal Cruz. Think about that for a minute. If you're the Pirates, what do you want?
The
At
guy
least
wants out.
two ready guys, huh?
The guy wants out. The guy wants out. And I know. I mean, I know it's going to take a lot, but we're not going to get what we think. We know that.
I don't know because if I remember right, the Pirates have control of him for about 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah, but I we're also talking about cheapskates.
Well, I get that, but if let's say, um, okay, let's just throw the Dodgers out there. Decide they want Cruz,
He would fit in well in
it's going
Dodger
to
blue.
cost you. But
He would
it's going to cost you a couple of guys. It might cost you a guy like Pajes, the center fielder they've been running out there. It might cost you Gavin Lux.
I think they would part ways with Gavin Lux for O'Neal Cruz. I'm just saying.
Well, no, I'm just using that as an analogy. It might be those two guys, or it might be Pajes and a starting pitcher. or a closer. A guy they can convert into a closer, something like that. I don't know, or even maybe even more important than that. What about for Will Smith?
They would never.
But what I'm saying is, if they're going to trade O'Neal Cruz, they're going to get a load for O'Neal Cruz.
I don't. I don't see it. I don't see them taking. I see them taking some prospects. I don't see them taking maybe one game day guy and a bunch of prospects. That's what I can see. We're talking about the Pirates here.
No, I mean, but I understand what you're talking about. And by the way, the White Sox and Rangers are playing in front of a crowd of dozens. But
They must
when
be a
you
joke.
oh yeah, I mean, you can count the crowd, dude. But
It's the Sox. They're the best worst team in baseball. They score runs and lose. I don't get it. I when this season's over, I want to see their run differential at the end of the season because every game it seems like they're putting up a 5 to 6 spot and getting beat 12-6, 8-6. Every game it seems like
yeah,
they're scoring runs. This is the
yeah,
worst
because I mean,
This is the worst team to pick. Like if you think you see your team's playing the White Sox, I try to stay away from them, pitching wise. Anyway,
well, okay,
I
let
love
me paint this
them.
picture for you. They are a negative 281 run differential. The next closest team is Colorado, who is negative 208.
Right, Rich, but they're putting up runs during the game. They're not getting beat zeros. They're scoring. They're just getting beat
Uh,
beat bad.
but they're really not. They've scored 412 runs this season. Okay, in 133 games, they've scored 412 runs, which is less than 3 runs a game. Next on the list is the Miami Marlins at 494. So they've scored 80 runs less than the next team on the list.
Just seems lately after the trade look after the trade deadline. It just seems like every night
Oh,
they're getting 3 to 4 runs, which if you're starting a pitcher against that, that's not good.
okay. So
I mean,
let's go
they shelled Cole the other
since the
day.
since the All Star break. Okay,
They shelled
they've
Cole.
scored. Say what?
They shelled Cole the other day.
Yeah, but since the All Star break, here's how many the White Sox have scored: 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 0, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, 7, 1, 5, 2, 6, 1, 12. That was against the Yankees. 1, 2, 5, 1, 0, 3, 1, 6, 2, 4, 4, 3, 1, and they've scored 3 in the second game tonight. So
Okay,
they're
maybe
not putting a bunch of runs on the sheet.
maybe all my starting pitchers that the people said to play were against the White
Mm-hmm.
Sox on their 6, 12, 5 nights.
Well, and see, the thing is, when you look at the pitchers that they've faced, they really haven't faced the big pitchers. Like, okay, Kansas City, they did face Lugo, but they didn't face Reagans. Texas, they faced Evaldi and Scherzer. Seattle, they didn't face Wu. They didn't face Castillo. They did face Kirby. Kansas City, the second time, they missed Reagans again, and they missed Lugo the second time through. Minnesota, they faced Ober. Oakland, they did face JP Sears. Chicago, they didn't face oh, come on. The import. 18. I'll think of his last name in a minute. The Japanese pitcher. I can't think of his name, but they didn't face him. Yankees, they didn't face Cole. They didn't face Hill. Houston, they faced Valdez. They faced Brown.
They
The
just faced
Giants, they did not. Huh?
they just faced Cole in the last series. Pretty sure
Faced who?
Pretty sure Garrett Cole just got shelled by the White Sox.
Uh-uh. Nope. According to this, anyway.
I could swear.
Cole didn't pitch against. Well, Cole didn't take the loss. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. No, Leon took the loss in that. Against Houston, like I say, they faced Valdez, they faced Brown. San Francisco, they did not face Logan Webb. Detroit, they did get Scooble. And then tonight, the series against the Rangers, they faced Andrew Haney to start the game. Yesterday, first game, and then this game it was Jack Leiter, and tomorrow they get Evaldi. So I mean, they're even dodging the aces on the other staffs for the most part, and they're still not winning games.
Or they're well coached around the White Sox so they don't pitch there.
I don't know. I just know this team is historically horrible. They're going to beat the Mets record.
They have 30 yet? They have 30.
Unless say what?
They have 30 wins yet?
Yes, they're at 31. They're 31 and 102. So, and what they have left, I mean, they've got tonight and tomorrow against Texas. They've got 3 against the Mets. Then check this out. 3 at Baltimore, 3 at Boston, 3 against Cleveland at home, 3 against Oakland at home, 3 at LA, 3 at San Diego, 3 against the Angels at home, and they close with 3 at Detroit. I don't see 5 wins there. I really don't.
They're that bad.
Huh?
They're that bad. That's awful.
I would almost bet. I will bet you cash money they don't get to 40.
I'm not betting.
They might not get to 30. They might not get to 35.
Then I have to become a hardcore White Sox fan for the next month.
You might have to, but I mean,
8
they
wins.
got a snowball. Huh?
9 wins. Let's go.
9 wins in their last 30 games? No. No, no, no.
I'm starting to question: are the Pirates going to see 9 wins in the last month? This is awful. I've never every year it just happens. It just happens, and I can't explain it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did not plan on getting swept by the Cubs at home.
I did. Remember, I said they were probably going to get swept by the Cubs.
I understand.
You looked at me like I was loony.
I had them. I had them winning 2 out of 3. Now you watch; they'll go to Chicago and sweep them.
Even with 3 of our aces on the hill, 1 returning, we still got swept. That tells you, I said it. I said they're probably going to get swept by the Cubs.
You did. And see, I had them getting swept, or at the best getting 1, but I had them getting swept against Cleveland this weekend because they're in Cleveland Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then they're in Chicago next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And you got Jones, Skeens, and Falter going against the Cubs. Imanaga, that's who I was talking about. It's going to be Falter and Imanaga on Wednesday. So it's, I mean,
there's a chance we're going to go into Cleveland and get swept.
oh yeah, I said that when we went through the schedule.
I mean,
I said I think at best they get one. At best, I think they get swept.
Best.
Yeah.
Not at best. I mean, I'm sorry. This team. I mean, now Cruz doesn't want to play center. Who knows what's going to happen, Rich? You just put a guy. You just can't take a guy out of his position without even talking to him about it. I know it's baseball. I get it. But that was Cruz's position. You don't just go in and say, "Hey, you're playing center today." What?
I have a very difficult time believing that that's the first time that he heard of it.
That's what he said.
That they just walked up to him one day and said, "Hey, you're not playing short anymore. We're putting you in center." I have a real hard time believing that was the first time he heard of it.
Did you see that? That's what he said.
I don't care if that's what he said. I have a hard time believing that that was the first time he heard about it.
Right.
Because at least one journalist, this one, has been talking about that for the last how long? That they need to go Robin Yount on him and put him in center field.
I know that. That doesn't mean you want to go to center field.
But I know I've heard other guys on the Pittsburgh radio talking about it. I've heard guys on MLB radio talking about it. It ain't breaking news that he was going to be looked at center field. Now, was it a shock that they moved him now? Yeah, because if you remember right, when I said that they needed to make the move, they needed to make the move in the off season so they had all of spring training and for him to get used to playing center field, not just putting him out there now.
Hey, you're going to center.
That's huh?
Hey, you're going to center today. What?
You know, I mean, now, like I told you before, going from Cruz to Izzy at short, that's like going from an Impala to a Ferrari at fielding. Is Izzy's stick as good? He doesn't have the power. He's a better contact hitter than Cruz. He's nowhere near Cruz's power. But Izzy's going to play a whole heck of a lot better defensive shortstop than O'Neal Cruz does. 100 times better. My question is, and I still stand by this. I don't know what the status is going to be for Brian Hayes next year. And if this center field thing kind of craps out, do you play Izzy at third and Cruz at short next year? Because Izzy can play third every day. That's not a problem. But is Hayes? I mean, we saw what back and neck stuff did to guys like David Wright and people like that. I don't know, man. I mean, if this back thing is something that's not going to get any better, you've seen the games. His mobility is shot.
I've never been a big Key Brian Hayes fan.
I think he plays a spectacular third base.
He's good. I don't know. He's never really stood out to me. Like, oh, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. Like,
it's him.
Just doesn't do anything. I thought the contract was dumb. I thought the contract was dumb. The day of the opener, I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that I would have after the season that he had though before they paid him. I can understand it, but
he was good. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he's got a Gold Glove on his shelf.
I mean, in Pittsburgh, it was a great season. Another team. It would have been maybe just numbers.
I think if they were looking at him being a defensive third baseman and that's it, yeah, he's worth what they're paying him. But they were expecting him to be their three hitter, and I'm sorry, he's not a three hitter. I No, he's just not. He never has been. I could see him very easily being a nine hitter.
I can see him being 7 through 9, maybe 9 to get the bottom of the order, like maybe with a big hit, and then maybe get the top where there's a runner in scoring position. But I've never seen him as a 1, 2, 3 on. Okay, on the Pirates, I can see it, but anywhere else, I'm having trouble locating that.
But I can't even see it on the Pirates.
Right, but on the Pirates, obviously it's a whole different ballgame.
Right, but I mean, like we're sitting here. Brian Reynolds is your two. Maybe your three, but he's more suited for the two. Leadoff, I mean, I realize he wasn't hitting great, but Taylor, now you got Izzy in the leadoff spot, which is great.
Well,
Izzy's the best leadoff hitter they've had in a while.
picked up by anyone?
Huh?
Did Michael Taylor get picked up by anyone?
I don't think so, not yet.
Because
But
they
you know,
they put him right on waivers right away.
yeah. But when you look at that 3-4 in the lineup right this second, do you go Cruz Bart or Bart Cruz when Bart's not on the IL?
I was gonna say I am not putting Bart in there. That's a loss. That's a strikeout with no pitches right now.
Well, I mean,
That's like
but
fixing.
Bart. I mean, do you have Bart as your four or is Cruz your four?
Cool. Do any of them have to be, or does one of them have
Who
to be?
who else you put in there? Telez?
Oh, are we in the second half? Because that seems to be when he comes awake.
Well, I mean, either right this second, you've only got three guys that could be in that cleanup spot.
And you don't want any of them there. I know we're being forced because that's all we have to
Oh
choose
no,
from. But in
no,
reality, really, you don't want
I
any of
wouldn't
them there.
mind. No. I wouldn't mind Bart in the four hole.
Okay, well he's not there.
Okay, what I'm saying is let's
Look,
say all healthy.
next year. I mean, because we're not even close to next year lineup yet. We didn't even get through the meetings yet, the winter meeting.
No. I'm saying right now, if he's healthy, he's your four hitter.
Well, yeah, they're going to put him in the fourth, but he's not
I
there
don't.
right now. Who are we putting in the fourth?
Right.
Are we going to put
Telez
Tellez
at the moment.
at the
That's what they
moment?
did today.
3 for 5 today. Another 2 RBI game.
Yeah.
He's swinging a hot bat. He's being productive. It just takes him like half the year to get warmed up.
It does.
And
He just.
he put another one in the river last night.
I understand.
Guy's got power.
And he's hitting 250, which in a year, in a year where hitting across the league is down. By the way, Taylor played today, so they still have him on the roster.
Wow, they DFA'd him yesterday.
They picked him up. They must have taken that away because he played today.
I thought once you DFA'd a player, it had to be like 3 days.
I don't know, but he had one at bat and struck out.
I'm so
But Telez is hitting 253, which in a year where hitting across the league is down. If he would have been hitting 253 all year long, I wouldn't have had a problem with him in the four hole.
He might have even been traded at the deadline.
Might have been. But, If I can get 250 right now, the top four guys in the Pirates lineup are hitting 272, 282, 273, 253. I can live with that. It's the 213, 203, and 230. I'm sorry, 213, 203, and 213 at the bottom of the lineup that I can't deal with. And 237 from your number 5 hitter. That I can't deal with.
So it sounds to me they're pitching to the first four, and then they're really pitching to the 5 through 9.
Kinda, yeah.
You know, sometimes like pitchers see the bottom of the roster and they take some stuff off, or they kind of relax. It sounds like they're not doing that with these guys, or they're just awful.
Right. I mean, look at it from this standpoint. In the National League, do you know how many guys are hitting over 300 in the National League?
I'm gonna say 6.
Nope. 3.
Damn it.
Arias, Acuna, Ozuna, and Turner. 310,
Yes.
309,
Oh, Azuna's
305.
done for the year, right?
Say again?
Azuna's done for the year, right? Didn't
I
he?
think they said he's going to be like the last week of the regular season. He'd be back.
Talk about when you can't.
He's going to be cutting it close for the playoffs. Yeah.
So, do you think the Pirates let Michael A. Taylor go, hoping the Braves would pick him up because Azuna went out?
No, I doubt it. But the reason why I said that about the averages,
Say they
Brian
wanted him
Reynolds
for a
is,
contender.
huh?
They did say they wanted to release him and try and let him go to a contender, which would have been the smart thing to do with Ozuna out. Now they need some center field. They have some outfield help.
Well, no. They got Michael Harris back. Michael Harris is playing center in
I didn't.
Atlanta.
My bad. I didn't know Harris
Yeah, they
played
got
center.
Michael Harris back, so that's not an issue. And they got Kelnick in left, and they got a random cast of characters in right. But Harris came off in fact, I think it was like a 2-day overlap that Harris came off and Ozuna went on. But the reason I brought up those averages, Brian Reynolds is the 12th best hitter in the National League. O'Neal Cruz is the 19th best hitter in the National League. Where Izzy is hitting right now,
That's why
if
baseball.
all of his bats were in the National League, he'd be 21st in the National League in hitting. So they would have 3 guys in the top 25 in the National League in hitting.
Get it, but that's not enough for a successful ball club.
3 out of the top 25?
It's not. Well, Rich, we're in the basement.
I get this. It's not the 3 guys that are in the top 25. It's the probably 4 guys that are in the bottom 25.
That's what I was just saying. Like, you can't win baseball with 3 guys.
Right, but what I'm saying is the nucleus is there. It's the peripheral parts that aren't there. If everybody that they had, if their top 9 were in the top 100 batting at, or 8 of the 9 guys were in the top 100 in batting averages in the National League, okay, they'd be doing something. But that's not the case.
Okay, so
It is,
what team, since you're looking at batting averages right now, what team has
yeah.
a stacked batting average in the NL?
What team
Philly?
has what now?
What team has at least five players in the top 25?
Let's see. San Diego has 3 in the top 10. 4, Machado is 18. They've got 4 in the top 25.
That would be Machado,
Um,
Diaz, Tatis, and maybe Cronenworth.
No, Arise, Merrill, Profar, and Machado.
Purest faction. Or however you said.
Say again?
Purest action. I'm
Say
up
again.
butchering
I'm
it.
sorry.
Or whatever.
Oh, Arias.
Or
Philly has two in the top 25. They have the same number that Colorado has in the top 25. The Dodgers have two in the top 25. Um, Atlanta has one in the top 25. Arizona has two. Colorado has three. Scratch that. They've got three in the top 25.
is it
Tovar,
Shogo?
Rogers, and Doyle.
Oh, I was. Oh, all right. I wasn't gonna say Doyle. I didn't think he was that high.
270. Um,
They suck,
so
and they stink.
yeah.
So okay, well, okay,
But here's the other part you got to look at.
all right.
But
So
look at it
let's.
from this standpoint. Look at 25 through 50. Okay,
Oh wait, hold on.
you've
Before you get
got
there,
okay.
this is where we're gonna get our stacks. Look at how many of them of the 25 through 50 are clutch hit situations, and they came through. If you can, because that's where this 25 through 50 is going to come in big.
Okay. You mean a guy like Brendan Donovan at 29, Teoscar Hernandez at 30, Jesse
Right?
Winker at 31,
Who's
Bryce
having a
Terang
great?
at 35? Hmm?
Winker's having a good year.
He's only hitting 261.
He's still having a good year. He's coming up with
I
clutch hits,
understand.
and that's
Right.
where this
Bryce
25
Terang.
that's where this 25 through 50 is a lot of clutch hit players.
Right. Christian Walker, Willie Adamas. Willie Adamas is on a freaking just glider right now.
That's because he's not a con.
He's going Jonathan India,
He's always been
CJ Abrams.
that kid's hit or miss. But let me tell you
But the
something.
thing,
He threw with some clutch hits.
Will Smith. But here's the kicker to it though. The
Clutch hits.
50th best hitter in the National League. What do you think his batting average is?
I would say 215 ish,
250 what?
215.
244. The
Okay,
50th best hitter in the National League is only hitting 244.
so some weeks he's 2 for 10, and some weeks he's 3 for 10. So we meet in the middle.
Yeah. But I mean, you go 50 to 75, 75th, or 71. I'm sorry, because that's how many have the amount of at bats. The 71st, there's only 71 hitters in the National League that have enough at bats to qualify.
Okay,
Christopher Morel is the last one. He's hitting a buck 99. Before he got traded, he had enough at bats still to qualify. He's at a buck 99. Reese Hoskins is hitting 215.
are you talking big kid
So
or not?
yeah, I mean, in the major leagues, there's only 8 guys hitting over 300. This is definitely a down year for hitters, and when you have average, below average hitters, it makes it even worse. By the way, if to go with your White Sox theory, 3-3, top of the ninth, runners on first and second, and your boy hits a little pop up right over second base that falls in front of Luis Robert, and now it's 4-3 Texas, top of the ninth.
There we go.
Your boy Seager got you a single and an RBI.
Oh, I thought we were going with the runs, 3 runs.
Well, but it was 3-3 in the top of the ninth. They had runners on first and second, and they give up the lead run.
That's my boy. We go
I
with the
mean,
other.
and they've still got first and third with 2 outs.
We go with the other sticker jersey we have too. Huh?
Do you realize that he is the only player in Major League history to
Win
win the World Series for 2 different teams at the same stadium?
and be MVP of both. He's the first one to be
But
national.
to that, yep. But
That's
remember,
right.
that was the COVID year.
And both these were at Globe.
Yep, that was the COVID year.
I still want that. I'm still getting a City Connect jersey for the Rangers, just so I can wear it, just so I can put it right here, Rich.
Go ahead. I'm just not a big fan of it. That's all. I mean, I don't get it. I don't think it looks good.
I like it, but I'm an out of towner.
Oh, a lot of the folks around here love them. I know a ton of people that love that City Connect jersey. I'm just not a big fan of it. But I know some people think the Pirates one is ugly, and I'm going, what planet do you live on? You know, so it's the different strokes for different folks kind of thing.
Right?
So
Um, very interesting stuff tonight, Richard. And next Wednesday, folks, we're unless this team has an immaculate comeback, we're probably gonna turn our little focus to getting ready for the Sunday game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, we know now who will be starting. Tomlin did name that this morning. Some people are
yep,
excited. Some people are lost for words. Bet you should have known. Bet you should have known.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you should have
Always,
known he's going to at least start the season.
they're always going to give it to the veteran.
Yeah, unless the young guy just absolutely tears it up in the preseason, which he really didn't.
No, they only talked about the bad he did instead of the couple nice passes he had and everything else.
Right.
But that's just the way it goes, and it sucks. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna reach out. Well, maybe you could find a Steeler guy too. Maybe we can have like a little round table Steeler talk. I'm gonna reach out to Matt and see if he wants to come on. Maybe we'll get him before the season. I know we
Yeah,
keep missing passes. Matthew Lucero, Lucero.
I've got
I
a
don't remember.
couple of people I could reach out to, see if they're available. Yeah,
Or
including
fans. I don't even
players.
care. I don't even care if you reach out to fans. Whatever.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance. Like I said last year, Rich, at this time I was well, unfortunately my buddy blew up in that house explosion in Plum, and it really put a damper on a lot of my shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can
Really,
imagine.
really this killed. I was I was finding people from every team as I could to get a preview going, and then that happened, and I just kind of shut down. Really,
Yeah.
like a lot of these guys carried me through all that. Like, but it was like every time you jumped on Twitter, there was something about it. There was, I mean, yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. The good and bad of the social media age.
Well, I mean, it was good because it was all like, it was all hey, fun GoFundMe pages and stuff for the families that still had people left and everything else. I don't know how to phrase that. That sounds awful. Um, yeah, so yeah, that definitely like I had 12, maybe 13 teams done to that point.
Wow. That's
But
pretty impressive.
life happens, and that's just the way it goes. So, but yeah. So Rich, or I guess we'll call it quits here. The 145 mark. We
Yeah.
hit we hit a lot of off the wall topics, and we hit some of our main topics. I'm sure we'll talk
So
about Owen
yeah,
Cruz, see how he does next in the next couple games in center field. See if he rewrites his tune or if he keeps it on a bad note.
yeah. So it's a typical show for us.
Right, normal, normal occasion. To the
Went
to
all
the
over the
people
place.
listening, you guys can always tune in to the Driving to the Top YouTube page. That way you can write comments and leave them there, and we can see them. And who knows, maybe even you'll make the screen, and that way we can answer your
May-
question. We didn't even
Yeah,
get
we'll make you
Raleigh.
famous.
We didn't even get Raleigh Chris tonight. I wonder what he's doing.
Hmm.
Who knows?
It's a good question.
Uh, but yeah, Rich, how people get a hold of you, boss?
All right, man. Well, on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week, it's Go Big, Go Home Pod. Or on Facebook, it's just my name, Rich Richardson. Lots of information out there, lots of different things. I did get the fantasy football rankings done last week on the Twitter page. So appreciate everybody's checked that out. And if you haven't yet and you still got drafts coming, make sure to check those out because I don't go with the chalk. I go with what I think is really going to happen. So,
Are we doing this fantasy draft, or what are we doing?
man, we only ended up with like 4 guys. So,
That's it.
yeah,
We
I
need
was I
like
was kind of
we
I was
need
kind of
6 more,
surprised on that one.
except for the third.
Yeah.
We still get it.
Yeah, I've got
Look,
it. I changed the date on it so we could do it on the third, but I think it's got 3 or 4 guys
anybody
in
out
right
there wants to do a fantasy draft, we're doing it for charity. Um, email, message me or Rich for details, or whoever, what channel you're listening to, whether it's Cher, whether it's Matt, whether it's Jamie. Yeah, just hit one of them up and ask them. We'll get back to you, let you know. But anyway, you can find me at Sports Talking It on Twitter. You can also find me at Driving to the Top on Twitter or X. What I don't, Rich said it best, whatever we're calling it, but everyone knows the Blue Bird. Um, and Driving to the Top on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe, get us up there, guys. Help us out. We'll help you out if you got something. Drop it. I'll subscribe back. I don't care. I'm not greedy. But hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in. And next week, I imagine we're going to be breaking down the Steelers season. All right, guys.
now. Man,